What's up, guys? Welcome back to Smalls Outdoors. So before I dive in, let me go through my little pre video thing. I do not condone to any alcohol or tobacco. I do not advise any minors or anyone to do alcohol or tobacco. But as y'all know, I dip and also drink beer. And it was a long day at work, so y'all just gonna have to get over it at this point. Okay? So, this episode's very special. I took another trip to Academy. Actually, I did it right after work. Bam! There it goes. Okay, so what I pretty much got at Academy, I did not get no hard baits, no crank baits, no swim baits, nothing. I saw a live action I wanted that was, oh, man, it was like 10, 15 bucks, and it looked so lifelike. And I thought to myself, well, I should get it. And I was like, nah, it'd be one limb away from me being pissed off. So I decided to leave that on the rack. So, let me dive straight into it. Alright, so what I pretty much picked up at Academy, I'm going to kind of go this in order. I mostly got creature baits, and by creature baits I mean crawfish and lizards. I got some flukes and hooks, and I got size 4 hooks, and if y'all really want to know, kadoo, boom, 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 there it is. Size 4s, 5, $1.49 a piece, or $1.49 a pack of actually 5. You can buy 25 for, I think it was 10 bucks. Not bad hooks. H2O Express, honestly, is pretty dang good. So, moving along. Creature baits. When I talk about creature baits, I'm talking about lizards, crawfish, brush hogs, beaver tails, anything along them lines. And I know in previous episodes I've probably mentioned something about my picks of a good soft bait creature bait. I tried switching over to Innovation Reactions. I only got 2 of these left, and that's why I didn't pick none up at Academy. This is my older brother Ethan's favorite bait. It's a California 420 Sweet Beaver. All you do is you separate, this right here down the middle. They're pretty good baits. I've caught fish off of them. It's not my forte. I like mine a little longer. Brush hogs, I remember when I was fishing as kids, brush hogs was a thing. I love using brush hogs. Baby brush hogs as well. So, I'm going to kind of skadoosh on to the brush hogs. So this is, whenever I talk about a beaver tail, this is what I'm talking about. Not bad baits. I'm showing you different creatures at this point. When I say lizards, a lizard looks like a lizard. Some people call them salamanders. This one's June bug, for instance. I have a bunch of lizards. I love fishing lizards. Springtime lizards, pre-spawn is actually pretty decent fishing. I fish them only on Carolina rigs. I can go weightless with a Texas rig, but with a Carolina rig, I can hook it to the underbelly. If I'm Texas rigging it, I put it over the top. So that way when it falls, I can drag. I'm going to get some snags on the Texas rig. I understand that. That's why I only fish it Carolina rig style. That and the way these fall, you want them to fall a good medium fast, because that's the way lizards swim. And I'm sorry, something caught my attention over there. And so, moving along. Okay, this is a lizard. Alright, so I'm going to bring up the brush hog. This is one of the things that I picked up from Academy. And there's different colors that really stick out to me. Everyone's favorite is watermelon red. It's so overused and overplayed that I want to find a different color to my arsenal instead of what everyone else is using. And I'm not saying watermelon red is terrible. Honestly, I don't like watermelon red. I mean, I've caught I couldn't tell you how many fish on watermelon red. But top of all that, you know, if it's one of those days and nothing's biting but watermelon red, yeah, of course I'm gonna throw it. But this color stuck out to me, and whenever I see a color that sticks out to me, for instance, my cotton candy slash chartreuse, cotton candy, it hadn't caught me crap yet. I ain't gonna lie. It's only for ultra clear water. Like you can literally see the other side of the lake. It's it has its perks and it has its disadvantages. And the thing with um, going to ultra clear water is you have to be prepared for it. That's just one of my just in case if nothing else is biting. I mean, I've caught a couple out of a few ultra clear ponds, and that's where that kind of comes into place. So, that being said, watermelon and cotton candy has combined my my least favorite, my most favorite color has hopped into one. This hadn't been opened, so what I have here is I have a Zoom brush hog, which they're I want to say 6 to 7 inches long. And what the difference is between a brush hog and a lizard is you have two extra paddles and two extra long tails. If you can kind of see that. The reason why it stuck out to me is because the purple flack in it. And the purple flack gives off a different vibe than red. Red mostly shows for blood. Purple, to me, shows a fish that there's something different in the water. Purple is a very unnatural color. I mean, it really is, if you think about it. I mean, June bug is blue with green flack. Um, I mean, that's just for instance. Um, Pretty much, you won't find purple flack and a lot of baits, but I see it as an opportunity. One of my favorite quotes is a road less driven is a road less traveled, meaning a, uh, a lot of people do not go for it. That way, it's never been done. Now, I'm not saying people don't use, this color or anything like that. I'm just using a metaphor to kind of clear it up. It kind of makes sense if you say it to yourself enough. So, but moving along, I was a kid. Brush hogs was a big thing, and fishing brush hogs. I kind of got away from brush hogs. This is my only pack of brush hogs. I'll be completely honest. I have the Carl's baits, but I wouldn't classify that as a brush hog. There's a few different styles and companies and makes, models, and everything like that. Brush hogs are good. You can throw them on anything. You can throw them on Texas rig, Carolina rig, I wouldn't say Nico rig, but it's a good little creature bait to have in your arsenal. I'm not saying it's a must-have, but if nothing else is working, for sure this is something that's gonna hop in on the lake for sure. I mean, it's just one of those things for me. Another thing that's came out in the past um, was Cinco. Cinco's came when Gary Yokomoto came out with the Cinco, which is a stick bait. When he came out with it, no one really threw it because just and no one really tried it. It was all ribbon tail, curly tail worms or trick worms, and little stuff like that. So whenever he pretty much created the stick bait, um, it took some professionals to prove to the people that they do work, and that's why most of my soft plastics are Senkos. I say Senko, we call them Senkos. Stick baits, Yum has dingers. Strike King has what do they call it? I got it right here in front of me. Shimmy sticks, crap like that. At the end of the day, I call it a Senko. So if I refer to a Senko, I'm just talking about a stick bait. So what pointed out to me in the store, I have a lot of different color Senkos. Anything from a watermelon seed or a watermelon to pumpkin seed, watermelon red, yada 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 yada. So I decided it's time to add a couple more colors to the box that the ponds around here I don't think have seen. Because all that's really around here is a Walmart. And if you're not special ordering offline, then you go to Walmart. Yeah, I'll go ahead and get some of these. One of my favorite colors of Senkos is black and blue with blue flake in it. And I ran out of them, and I looked at Academy. They didn't have none. All they had was a chartreuse tail. I don't really throw those. They're good for wacky rigging just because of the chartreuse tail and the movement. Good baits. I'm going to start off with one that I've never thrown, and I'm hoping it's going to work this year. And what this color is called is Elder's Magic. I couldn't even tell you like a color that would be close to this. I have to rip it open. Okay. I'll kind of pull it out, throw it in. It's unopened. If y'all really want to see, I'm going to try to get it close. The screen kind of brightens it up, so I'm going to take it out. That way I don't reflect as much. If I can get it open, there it goes. And it's pretty much see-through. It's got blue, green, a little bit of purple in it. Cool looking. Stick bait. Why not? It kind of resembles a watermelon color on the plastic side of it, and the flag, it just throws out a good old, as I call it, spontaneous combustion. And it really, it's just a good looking color. If it works, I'll buy more. If it don't, it would probably sit in my Ziploc bags for a while. So moving along. I know that was a whole mouthful. I've been looking for this color. And this color, I used it a lot whenever I really got into Senkos and Yum came out with it. I can't find any other brand that has this color. And it points out to me because it's a great looking color. Couldn't tell you why. It's got that vibe to it. It's called Mardi Gras. I've looked everywhere for it, and this Academy had it. So, Mardi Gras. Oh, Mardi Gras. Even one of my coworkers that I fish with, my supervisor, he says, "What's Mardi Gras?" And now I have Mardi Gras. When we went to the pond, I was biting. I was like, "Man, this pond would be, good for Mardi Gras." This is good for clear to murky to you can barely even see your finger under an inch. What we got here is the Mardi Gras. And it looks blue, but it's actually purple with gold flak. And it's got a lot of gold flak in it. And that's what it makes it shine. makes it dance. You know, it's going to draw a lot of attention. When it comes to Senkos, this is my favorite color. I fish watermelon red. There'll be days where they'll bite on watermelon red or pumpkin seed and crap like that. This covers it all. Yeah, it ain't got no red in it or anything like that, but it's gonna cover. It's gonna do what I asked this bait to do. And I want to give my props to Yum for this color. This is my favorite color of Senkos, still to this day. Okay. Now that I got away from the Senkos, I got something out of the ordinary that I wouldn't honestly buy. And I have one pack of these already in the Ziploc bag. And you guessed it, it's a fluke. I don't fish flukes. I just never had the passion to throw them. They have their applications, especially, you know, at mouths of a water source going into another water source, a creek, a river, the mouth, more or less, you know. But the color I got here is sprayed grass. And what pointed out to me is it's got, I don't know if you can see it. It's got the purple in it. It's got, I want to say, a watermelon plastic to it. And it's got a little bit of blue in it. You can hardly see it. You can see the transition, but the screen light is really kind of messing with it here. It's a good looking color. Can't wait to try it. I want to try it out on open water. I want to be on a boat when I throw this. I'm not going to really throw it on the bank. I don't really throw flukes off the bank. I mostly throw Senkos or crawfish or, you know, the innovation, reaction, innovation, whatever you call it. Golly. So this is going to the arsenal. And for sure, this year, with the springtime, the way it's going, I'm going after it, you know, with some flukes. Now I'm just gonna have to get over this part. Okay. I had to get my nicotine fix here. So, all that being said, I'm now down to the crawfish part. Now, I fished the old style tubes, which is an actual tube. And the tube, I don't have none in this bag. I still don't know why. A tube is pretty much universal. You can use it on anything. You can suicide rig it, or you can drop shot it. Just little stuff like that. So, these baits never were really out whenever I was a kid and was really big into bass fishing. And now that I'm older and that I've tried it and it's proved its point, whenever I caught that 5.5 pound bass out of Ethan's pond. And I kid you not, I've looked everywhere. And when I mean everywhere, I mean I've only seen it in like 1 or 2 stores. And when you find it, it's going to be on clearance. So I bought 2 packs. So if y'all find some and y'all like Smalls, I got a pack of that, let me know. I'll get it. But the crawfish, the Big Bite Bass Special, it doesn't really have a color to it or a name or anything like that. It's called a swim crawl. This is what I usually throw. And the reason why I like these so much is they're part two, part creature bait. You can use them as a trailering hook. You can use them as a pig for your jig. I call it a jig and pig. And this color has proven its point to me. And when I say it's proven its point to me, not just a 5.5 pound bass, but the other fish that I've pulled out of the water just using this, I can literally go to the ponds around me, leave my tackle box at home, and bring 3 hooks and a couple of sinker weights and a pack of these. Man, I kid you not, I pull out some good looking fish. So I bought 2 packs of these, and I'm overly happy. I'm proud of Big Bite Baits for actually coming out with them. And I mean, the color's hard to describe. I mean, it's a darker color. I like it. I have 3 or 4 different kinds. You know, I've got these, which is a green pumpkin seed. I have thrown 1 or 2 of them. This color I just don't have really much luck on. So, you know, there's 4 in this pack, so that tells you how much I use, and that came out of the last mystery tackle box I got. Props to Mystery Tackle Box for actually giving me a bait that I'll use, and they gave me some hooks, good looking hooks, yada yada yada. I actually use these for a couple of my spinner baits if the colors match. I'm trying to bulk up on this side of the creature baits and the tubes. You know, I call it a 2-for-1. You know, you can throw it on Texas rig, a Carolina rig. You can use it as your pig. You know, the reason why I like using these over ribbits, I say ribbits, but the 2 feet that you're supposed to pull behind a spinner bait. The reason why I don't I don't use ribbits, you know, just number one, it only has one function. Yeah, you could probably throw them on a Texas rig, and you might catch 1 or 2 here and there just because of the color. And the fish are wondering what it is. I'm not a big ribbit fan. You'll never really see me throw one. Well, you'll never see me throw one, to be honest. If someone gave me a pack, it would probably sit on the bottom of the tackle box, and just another thing I have to go through and move aside. So I want to safe to say, these are all around great bait. If you ain't never experienced one of these, I want to say whenever I went to Academy, there's 10 colors, and I'm kind of kicking myself in the hiney for not getting a couple more colors. But when I found my favorite color, when there's 2 left and there's a whole box of the Big Bite baits, and I literally had to sift through. I'm like, come on, just 1 more pack. If I have 1 more pack, I'm good. I ain't got to worry about it. And I kind of marry them all together. That way I only have, 1 Ziploc bag of them. These are really fine baits. This is my all-time favorite creature bait myself. That's just me. It's my forte. I'm more of a finesse fisherman. I like throwing trick worms, but just the trick worms have not been, my best bet here lately. It's been a dry spell, honestly, and hopefully with me getting all these baits that I'm good, and whenever I hit the ponds, I'm set up for success. Excuse me. I got another swimming crawl bait color. It's Alabama crawl. I'll go ahead and take it out of the package. I can't believe some of these are rip-offs and some of these are just open-ups, which is fine. I'm not going to complain about it. I'm just going to pull this out, show you the color, and do my thing. So here it is. Orange, green, and it looks like a mixture of both in the actual claws. So with all that being said, whenever you think of, it's not spring yet, so I can't call this a spring fishing video or tackle video or anything like that because it's not spring, it's still winter. March 18th is whenever it's officially spring. Can't believe schools are having spring break when it ain't even spring yet. Today it was 80 degrees, a good spring day for Texas, and it's going to be moving a lot of fish. So when you think of spring, and this is not fishing aside, when you think of spring, you think of leaves are turning green. You're thinking of, Easter and, you know, spring cleaning, stuff like that. So whenever you go to the fishing world on that side of things, right now the lake's turned. And when I say the lake's turned, it is whenever it turns winter, the grass turns brown. Okay. Well, on the bottom of the lake, what makes the color of the lake is the actual bottom. Okay. So if the water is brown, is because the grass is turning on the bottom. The grass is turning brown. Then when it turns spring, it's going to turn green, and it's going to really brighten up the lake. That kind of stuff. So whenever someone says, "Oh, the lake's turned," or "the lake's turned over," or "the lake's flipped," that's what we're meaning. Now, whenever me and Ethan went on Friday, we went to Lake Ray Roberts, Lake Louisville, and a couple of ponds. And whenever we went to Lake Ray Roberts, we stopped by the Guggen Squad headquarters, and went and looked around. I picked up a crankbait, a couple of stickers, and I got Heather a t-shirt. And whenever we were looking, I asked the cashier, I said, "Hey, we're about to go Roberts. How's the fishing out there?" He said, "Man, the fish ain't pushing the shoreline." What that means is the bass, whenever they spawn or lay their eggs, it goes from deep water to shallow water. The fish are hatching, and they're just moving along, scooting along. So that's what that means whenever I say the bass are pushing the shoreline, or the fish are pushing the shoreline. He said crappies on, straight on the shoreline, we start throwing crappie jigs out, nothing, just doing our thing. And so we threw a few baits. I didn't go through the whole tackle box. I just, threw something. If you're on a lake, you're not going to go through your whole tackle box. If you do, it's kind of stupid, especially because if you're using soft plastic, me, it's, one and done. Put it on the hook once you stab it through, you can't really bring that bait back. Now with the Senko, you can if you want to use it for a Ned rig, you just, I bite it. But you bite the half of it off and stick it on your Ned rig. And so it's supposed to imitate a grub. So with that being said, it's now pre-spawn. It's 80 degrees. Water's turning warm. All right, fish are about to start moving to the shallows. Like I say, it's called they're getting their dorsal fin dry. They're going to start going to shallows for warmer water and more food to feast on. You're still going to have chunky fish. Summertime, that's when they get their summer bods, and that's when they're slender. And most tournaments, they'll still have weight, but most tournaments will have length. And that's what, it matters what the qualifications are of that tournament, but that's how that goes. So, all that being said, it's pre-spawn at this point. It's still not spring. I will come out with a spring fishing tackle video of what I'm going to be throwing this spring, and just kind of elaborate on why I'm going to be using that. And to close it off, Ethan said these are crap because they sink, but I think if you use them right, they serve a purpose. But the previous one that I got, um, the eyes fell off, so I went to Academy. They didn't have the same exact one, which was a red-eared bluegill. So what I got here is I got a sunfish, yellowtail sunfish. If we were at Perky, I wish I would have had a red tail and I could use it. You can kind of hear it. That's funny. Apparently these don't work, but if I'm on a lake, I'm gonna try these out because big fish would actually want this. So that's just my cahoots about it. That's all I pretty much got for y'all. Had to look into this spring fishing season, and hopefully this video kind of helps you. Next video, like I said, I'm gonna do my spring fishing video and tackle. So be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks, guys.